Going live. Got our chat on. All right, welcome. This is the Hand Farm live chat, Tuesday night edition. I'm Mark from lovely Marion, Michigan. If you don't know where that is, it's right here in Michigan. If Michigan's shaped like a mitten, it's right here, base of the ring finger, where we are. So, tonight's Tuesday, and you'll notice if you haven't been keeping up with the shows that our schedule has changed. Get out! Get out! I don't want no dogs in here. Our schedule has changed, all right? So we no longer have a show, and we no longer have a show on Friday night. We will have our somewhat regular show on Tuesday. Wednesday is our Q&A, but that is for the Tribe Plus people. So you got to be a member of the club with the cool kids to get in on that. And what that is it's a Zoom call. So like with this format, we have thousands of people that listen to me on a daily basis, but you can't all be on a Zoom call. So the Zoom call, Jill lets in a certain number of them. We're going to do it every Wednesday night. And like when it gets to be too many people, you get shifted to the bottom of the list, right? So the Zoom call basically is consulting. So you have me sort of one-on-one, but it usually winds up like being 10-on-1 or 5-on-1 or 2-on-1. It depends on how many people are showing up. But that is part of the service that you get with Zoom or with. Yeah, Gary Rockwell says, hey, we're the cool kids. That's part of the service that you get with the Tribe Plus. All right. And the Tribe Plus, it is a monthly fee, $14.99. And in order to keep this going, to keep the lights on, there has to be an exchange. There has to be, or we just can't do it. And that's the format that Joe has come up with, and I agreed to it as well. I think it's a fair trade. I really like doing this, but to be honest with you, 5 nights a week was a little too much. And I found myself kind of behind on my farm work. And then I was a little distracted with this. Now I'm finding that Tuesday, great. I get to do a show tonight, And it's about right. Tuesday, we'll have Tuesday. That'll be on this side, on the free side, I guess you'd call it. And Thursday will also be on the free side. And Thursday, I'm really excited about that because Joe and Jill, my second oldest son, and my wife are in charge of lining up interviews for Thursday night, which is really, really cool. And I get kind of surprised now. This organization has grown, and like we have a staff actually, and certain people have certain jobs. And like I don't have to be on the phone calling people up, say, hey, do you want to be interviewed? Now Joe or Jill is calling people just in our circle of people that we know and saying, would you like to be interviewed? And we're finding that you don't have to be interviewing anybody that's famous. I mean, they just need to be, everyone is unique. Everyone's unique. And we're finding that a lot of people that get into this line of work, they're all unique. So we had the clerics on last week. And I thought that was really fun. It was very unique. You get to see what it's like inside of a big family, where Beth would have to get up and go see to a kid, and then she'd come back, and then Tommy would have to get up and go see to a kid. That's just the way it is in a big family. You very rarely can do anything uninterrupted. And I mean anything, even if it's, anything. You get interrupted doing everything because kids don't dig that whole thing. So tonight's show is going to be on meat preservation. I'm not ready to start yet, but I want to turn you on to our sponsors for tonight. Our sponsors tonight are the Canning Workshop. It's the Anyone Can Farm Canning Workshop, which is taking place August 6th. That's this coming Saturday. And it's going to be run by our Rachel Jameson, the hands-on Homestead class. I hold that we've gotten the class. So it's not like one where I really need your arms to come. The price on that, including, is $47, right? $47. And we're going to take, and the way this is lining up, okay, we have a class this weekend. There's still time for you to sign up. And now in this presentation, I am going to be telling you why it's very important that you sign up for this class. And it might seem a little froggy, but really it isn't. The preservation of meat, we talked about canning last week. Now we're going to talk about preservation of meat, and one of the methods that we're going to use this weekend is canning, right? And so we want to get into this tonight, really talk about this. I've got some really good stuff here. Some flies in here too. I wonder if somebody can bring me a fly swatter. I need a fly swatter stationed in here, or the bug assault gun. All right, Declaric's with us. And speaking of Declarics, the Declaric Homestead, Beth, I'm assuming it was Beth that made this, but this is her very own creation from a garden. So, I mean, this is just, that's love to me. That is really just, it's so nice. I mean, to be able to create something like that and then hand that to somebody, I think is a beautiful thing. And I am really thrilled with it. It's going to be hanging right here on the wall. But right now I have that prosciutto hanging there, and it's been hanging there time. And we're going to talk about that tonight. So I left it, but then this is going to take its place. All right. And I also got a really nice hydrangea that I haven't gotten in yet, but I'm going to. I'm looking for the perfect place to put it. And a really nice, like a stepping stone. It's actually, Beth poured it with concrete and then put a tree in it that she made out of rocks, and it says Baker's Green Acres on it, and it's got a special place in our little world up here, and I'm really thrilled with it. And I'm also very encouraged by it, or inspired by it, because we're starting a project, and maybe this week, maybe we'll do a little of it this week, but what I would really like to do is start a little manufacturing of blocks like that, bigger, because we have a lot of places on the farm where walk, and you wear the grass down it'd be nice if we had stepping stones. And I saw the one that Beth made. I thought, hey, we could make these blocks 2.5 inches thick, so they'd be heavy, about concrete. You might even put some coloring in there, but then just find things to press into the concrete, and they would be there forever. So just things. I mean, just you look around and there's things. You find things, when you're digging, you find things. When you're hoeing the field, you find things. I actually found a Leatherman. I found a Leatherman this week in one of my fields. I have no idea who it belongs to. It was really rusty, and I got it squirted down with oil, and I'm going to see if I can salvage it. It's not like one of the ones that I use. It's called a rebar. It's a rebar. So if anybody lost a Leatherman rebar, I have it, and it's in rough shape. A couple of the blades broke off, so that's good. We'll send it in. They'll send us a new one. Hopefully they discontinued that one. It's really crummy, and they'll send us a good one, a fitting one. So Yeah, let's talk about this a little bit after I tell you about my day. Right? And I think it's important to do this because I want you to know that as you prepare to take my place, which is that's what we're doing. We're preparing you. I'm training you as my replacements. I want you to know that I really and truly do this thing, this homesteading thing. I'm not just talking about it. I actually do it. So in the community here, we have been inundated with phone calls of people that need their chickens processed. So we had to open up a day today, a Tuesday. Normally we process on Fridays, but we opened up a Tuesday because we just couldn't fit anybody in on Friday. We couldn't do that many birds on a Friday, and had a full load today. And I did make a video about midway through because, oh no, at the end it was, and I shared it onto the tribe. You'll be able to see it there. Yeah, hey Andy, you're right. Can you guys hit the thumbs up? That would really do us a good turn. And this video was of the difference between the Cornish cross, the White Mountain Cornish cross hens or chickens, and the Freedom Rangers. So I had two of them, identical ages, and the White Mountain was this big, chubby, fat thing, and the Freedom Ranger was quite a bit leaner, quite a bit smaller, but still a very nice chicken. And I just thought it was an interesting video. I'm really lucky that for some reason, the way my psyche works is I'll be working a process like pastured poultry. And just about the time when it gets to be like, this is getting old, I'm about to say I'll be like, right? But I made fun of, I was making fun of one of our friends whose kid was saying, and then I'm like, and she's like, and then so I started kind of mimicking that, and now I can't say it. When I was a kid, we used to say, and then I goes, and then she goes, and then you go right now. So I'll be about to the place where I'm kind of worn out on a process, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, hey, if I did this, I just change it a little bit, and that really would be a better way to do it. Oh, gee, and then it changes it this way downstream, and that's better, and then it changes it this way and this way. And so you come out with a slightly different product, but I get psyched because I think, hey, it's more efficient, therefore more profit. And we're definitely in the profit business. Everybody needs to be in the profit business. Profit, not necessarily money. I'm not against money. I mean, you need, like, if you take legal tender for something that you do, and then you take that legal tender and you pay somebody to give you a back rub, you could just say, hey, why don't you just give me a back rub? I don't need the money. You know, it's tender. It's a fair trade for what you're providing. But in a lot of times, you know, I can't save up. I can't put a back rub in my wallet. So, okay, dollars is good. And we can use that, you know, for the electric bill. They won't take back rubs. They won't take chickens. They want dollars. And they won't even take green dollars. They want you to change it into, you know, you guys know what I mean. I mean, you got to deposit the dollars in your bank and then write a script for it. It's really crazy. It's really crazy when you think about it. All right, Ballistic's with us. Oh, Ballistic, do I have some news for you? I planted some of those seeds you gave me, son, and they're about this tall. And I've transplanted some of them because they're taking off, but they're in a field that is, I'm ready to turn the pigs in there, and I don't want them, to take these plants down yet. So, and Justin Zulka is with us. Welcome, Jay-Z. And Luann's with us. Right on, Luann. So anyway, today my day was like this. I got up, I did some work around, and then the water was ready for us to do our chicken processing. We had about 150 birds, and we just had a small crew today, which was fine. It was quiet, nobody asking me questions. Everybody knew what to do. And it just went off without a hitch. All the equipment worked fine, and we just cruised right on through. I got to the end of it, and I get this surge of energy of things that I realize, oh, I can do this. This is really easy to do. I need to get this done. And that came on the heels of yesterday, Monday. And I think it was from Saturday or from Sunday. Sunday, we were taking one of our kids to summer camp, Frank, my youngest son. And on the way home, we dropped off Frank at summer camp, and everybody's like, that's not as much fun as we thought it would be. Frank's having fun, but we're not. And I said, hey, let's go in the Cadillac. We'll get us an ice cream, and then we'll swing by this place called Wall Ravens, and we'll get us some nice bratwurst, and we'll bring them home at campfire, and we'll eat bratwurst and just have fun. Let's just have fun. So everybody here is on kind of a fun hangover because, we had people at the farm for a few weeks, 3 weeks, and then they left last Saturday. So it was kind of anticlimactic. It was the Bachers, and we miss them. And then Jim was at summer camp, and we picked him up on Saturday. And, so, I mean, things have been kind of in a roar. And then we dropped Frank. But anyway, we ate these ice cream. We got an ice cream, and then we came home and we ate bratwurst, and then we wound up going to bed early. Just early. Like 10. It was just early. We went to bed, which usually I don't want to go to bed because it's like there's still things that I want to do. I'm just not, sleep doesn't take a priority a lot of times unless I just can't keep my eyes open. And then it's sort of like I submit to it, But yesterday I got up, did stuff in the morning. We had to go look at a property, and then I had to return a couple phone calls. And after lunch, I was just dragging, like, what is this? And I just said, hey, I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm coming down with something. I got to take a nap. Did not get a nap. I just was fitful, flopping around, and somebody called, the dog barked, I just got interrupted. And then I got up, went back to work, or supposedly, I mean, that's what I said I was doing, but I was very tired. I was just really tired, just like I wanted to go back to bed. And I didn't know what it was, but I thought, boy, glad my life ain't like this. This would suck. Like, what would I do? Nothing seemed fun. 3 p.m. go watch TV? Oprah's not on anymore, so what's the point of watching TV without Oprah? So I don't know. I muddled on through and got through last night, and we everybody was kind of tired though. Jim said he was tired too, and so then last night wound up going to bed again pretty early at 10:30. Got up this morning, and it was like, oh, look what I've been missing out on. I got so much to do. So I went right to it this morning. And I've just had a really good day. I got a surge of energy. I'm like really ready to rock and roll. right now. Even I'm going to do some things afterwards. So anyway, that's what I did. We processed about 150 birds, and I am just really psyched about the direction that we're going, that the tribe is going, that our friends are going, that we've met with at Tribe Day and um, this show. And, I'm really glad that everybody is moving forward. There was a man here yesterday dropping off chickens. I'll just tell you this real quick. And he started giving me a list of how messed up the country is and how screwed we are as citizens. As if, man, they're gonna be coming, they're gonna starve us, they're gonna take our gun, they're gonna do all this stuff. And I had to slow him down. I said, listen to me for a second. I said, you're hearing all of this through the news, because he told me, oh, I watch the news. I said, you're hearing this all through the news. These people are the same people that are lying to you about everything. Anytime they tell you the truth, it's part of a story, but the punchline is a lie. They lie constantly. Why? Because they're trying to manipulate your psyche. They're trying to bring you someplace where you're already defeated. You remember Baghdad Bob? As American tanks, Abrams tanks are rolling into Baghdad, he was saying, the Americans are running. They are cowards. They are running scared from us. That's what the media is doing to you. They're telling you that you are basically screwed. There's nothing that you can do. And the next thing they're going to do is they're going to take your guns. How, you need to think this through, right? You really need to think this through. What, Rachel Maddow's going to come get your weapons, right? It's just ridiculous to think that they could actually do any of the things that they say they're going to do. So this man was dropping off like 200 chickens, or like, I don't know. No, it wasn't 200. It was a lot, though. He had a horse trailer with like 75 birds in it. And I said to him, well, and he was convinced that they're going to starve us all. They are going to starve us all. And I said to him, well, you're not going to starve, are you? And he says, no, I won't. I said, then just what else are you worried about? Well, they're trying to take our guns next. Well, he said, well, all you have to do is just not turn in your guns. The Second Amendment to the U.S. Constitution says that you have the right to own and bear. So own and bear. And if they want them, let them come get them. Now, I don't know who they're going to get to do that, because it's a very difficult task to disarm people. What, if they send you a letter in the mail, are you just going to toddle right on down to the sheriff's department with your guns? Don't be a fool. Don't be a fool, right? So I think that instead of trying to talk people out of things aren't as bad as they say, even though they say they're pretty bad, the commander-in-chief is saying, oh, it's food shortages. They're coming. They're coming. And then the Department of Ag is saying, don't raise chickens. Bird flu. Aren't you putting this together yet? It's almost comical. It's almost like, I swear there's got to be an element of comedic humor in this, right? I mean, just about everything that comes my way, when I think about it, it's like, you're kidding me, right? Like one that I heard the other day, that I tried to look the story up again because I just thought it was a riot. I wanted to send it to my son because to me, it just was like, great. But the Secretary of Transportation, a one Peter Buttigieg, that's quite a name, isn't it? For a what? And his husband, his name is Chasen. Chasen. Isn't that a name? Like chastity. That they both tested positive for monkeypox. I just thought it was funny. right? And then they go on to tell you who's catching monkeypox. It's people that, you know, are just having indiscriminate, you can't even really call what they do is sex. It's not really, that's not sex, because, you know, it's just like, it's just not sex. Anyway, I don't want to go into it here, but look at the names. Peter Buttigieg, and his husband's name is Chasen, right? It's a joke. It's a joke. And yet the public is like, not Pete Buttigieg, not him getting monkeypox. That means anybody could get monkey. Come on. Like, okay, I'm not supposed to be given that. Anyway, everything is kind of a joke. It's kind of a joke. And so I think that what we need to do as the tribe, right? The older people need to be telling the younger people, just focus on what we got to get done. Don't worry about what these idiot bags are saying. Focus on what we need to get done. Focus on what? The mission. What's the mission? Right? Focus on the mission. And like in the Air Force, our mission was definitely flying airplanes, but it was also training others to maintain those airplanes, how to arm those airplanes, how to fly those airplanes, how to put fuel on them, how to put ammo on them. You know, that's part of the mission here. So that's what we're doing. And I just think that if you stay in that realm and you just focus on the mission and just ignore these idiot bags. I mean, the next thing that they are going to send our way, I'm sure it's going to be really choice too. Oh, I just realized something. I didn't vote today. Darn. We were very busy. I really wanted to vote. I forgot. Wow. Can you believe that? And I knew who I was going to vote for too. I think it'll turn out. Can you believe that? Oof. Okay, so I want to talk about meat preservation tonight. Meat preservation. And a lot of people kind of overlook this as a legitimate form of prepping, whatever you want to call it, for the next season, because it has always been floated to you as, ooh, that could be dangerous. You know, you got to know what you're doing, man. If you want to drink a glass of milk, you better know what you're doing. It's always floated that way. And so when people get around to the place where they're going to preserve meat, they're like, ooh, you probably got to have a college degree to learn how to do that. And what I want to do is I want to talk about that tonight. Luann, you forgot to vote too. Well, the reason why I think it gets overlooked is because you are constantly shooed away from it. No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. And I think you've been shooed away from processing too. You have been, you know. Leave that to the USDA. Leave that to the professionals. You know, if you don't know what you're doing, it could be really bad for you. You could get botulism. They love terms like that. Botulism, that could get you, you know. One green bean and you're a goner. So, you know, maybe botulism would kill you if you ate one green bean. I actually personally know somebody that said that she got it and she got herself in a bad way. All right, well, let's just do it the right way so we don't get any botulism going. And if we do it right, like anything that we do, if we get training on it and we do it right and we know the right way from the wrong way, then we shouldn't have to worry about anything. You know, it's sort of like just about everything. You'll always have somebody that will say, better be careful on that. I know somebody that replaced the tie rods on their 67 Chevy and they wound up in the ditch. And it could happen to you too. And so you kind of, oh, really? Maybe I should have a professional put my tie rods on. You name it. There's always somebody trying to scare you off from doing it. And I think it's because they don't want to do it. And so they want you in the same boat as them, you know? So let's all get in this boat. Let's get in the boat that wins. Let's get in the boat that eats regularly, that is able to do some preparing. Another phase of prepping here is what we're going to talk about tonight, canning, meat preservation. Actually, this is brought to you by the canning workshop that's coming up this Saturday. So are definitely going to talk about canning meat, right? And why I believe it's definitely legit. So prepping in general, you want to keep your assets dispersed, right? Ooh, that sounds official. Well, can somebody translate that for me, Andy Zumwalt? Can you translate that? Well, I'll translate it. It's don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's what that is. That's convert, do the Homestead conversion. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. So if we have, except munitions, they seem to put them all in the same spot, don't they? I don't know. They don't really separate them. But like our airplanes, we separate them. We don't want them close because then it's one big target instead of multiple small targets. And then if one airplane happens to go up, it won't take a bunch up with it. In this discipline of preparation for the next season is what we're doing, prepping, survivalism, whatever it is. I would not want to put all of my meat in one freezer. Like, let's say that I've mastered the art of butchery. I know how to butcher chickens. I know how to butcher pigs. I know how to butcher, yeah, I know what you're saying. I know how to butcher cattle. Would I put that all in one big freezer? Is that a good idea? Or should I have that in multiple freezers, smaller freezers, more fuel efficient freezers, or more economical to run freezers? I think so, right? I've got a big walk-in, but we really only use that as an overage when we have, like, let's say we do 2 cows at a time. Got to have a lot of room. Only going to turn it on for a little while and bring the stuff down to 0 degrees, but we don't run it all the time. It's not running now because it's super uneconomical to run. And I can disperse everything in smaller freezers, and it's a whole lot better idea to do that. Likewise, if you're preserving meat, do you want it all frozen? Well, let's say that I've got all my meat in 3-4 freezers. I'm good to go. Well, what if the electricity goes off for an extended period of time, and it's gone 10 days and it's not coming back on? You gingerly open up your fridge and stick your hand, or your freezer, and you stick your finger in and like, it's getting soft. And, we have no means to bring it back down. We're going to have to do something here. All right. What do you do? You can't just eat it all because you need to save it for the lean months. So what do you do? If that scenario happened, you could, I suppose, run out to the store, buy a bunch of ball jars, bring them home, start taking meat out, cutting it up, putting it in those ball jars, running it through a canner, 1 canner load at a time. Or maybe you have to go buy a canner too. And, well, the problem might be, if you don't have a canner and you don't have canning jars, maybe you don't know how to can either. So then, as soon as you can this, you're going to look at the first can and say, boy, I hope that don't have no botulism in there, because I could be a goner, right? Maybe I should get some training. So a smarter way to go would be to disperse your assets. Like if you've killed a beef and you freeze a bunch of beef, you we don't cure beef. You could jerky a bunch of beef. You could jerk a bunch. That's a drying method. That's what they call it when you cure beef. They usually call it jerking. I suppose there's a charcuterie method for beef. I just haven't come across it yet, but I can't see why you wouldn't. I know that in pigs, we do a lot of charcuterie, and it's a really good way of putting up a whole bunch of good stuff. Okay, but canning is something that you can do, but you have to be prepared to do. And maybe when your freezer is down and it's getting warm and you're at a crisis period, that's not the time to do that. Now is the time when your freezer's running fine and you say, well, you know what? I've got 2 freezers. If I can everything in this freezer, it's on the shelf, ready to go. And if something goes south, I could probably run 1 freezer with my little Honda generator for a long, long time. And if that was the case and you had to fire up the generator and run it every couple of days just to bring the temp down in there, you would eat out of the freezer first. And your canned stuff stays on the shelf and you would eat that last, right? Because the canned stuff on the shelf, you know this, is not costing you anything as it's sitting there. Matter of fact, one of the neat things about canning, this is cool. And I just thought of this. Nobody told me this. I thought of this. Oh. I'm having a lot of good ideas today. I hope I'm not a light bulb that's going to burn out soon. But you think about it. If you go to, let's say you have a neighbor that puts in a big, okay. Like, is Bryce with us? I've been to Bryce's place. He's got a big operation and he grows a lot of vegetables. He services a lot of people. I don't know how many. But if I go over there at certain times, he might have stuff that none of his customers, like he does a CSA. So once he's filled all the orders, then he has stuff sitting there and he's like, it's got to go. It's either going to go to the pigs, or if you want to buy it, I will give you a good deal on it. Right? Even if he gave me the standard deal that everybody else is getting, it's still a great deal. It's a great deal. Somebody that's a pro can produce a lot more than you can as an amateur because they've got the experience and they have the know-how and they have the equipment and all that stuff. So they can produce a lot of stuff to take you maybe several years to learn and get yourself ginned up to where you can do it at the same cost that they can do it. So a bushel of green beans is actually quite inexpensive. The problem is if you eat off of that week, then it starts to wilt and you got to do something with it. So with this skill under your belt, you can buy these products like green beans. That's a good example. You can buy them relatively cheap. I mean, really cheap. And let's say they cost, I don't know, let's just call it X. Let's call it X amount. And then you, as the canner, you put them in ball jars, you run them through your canner, however you're going to do that. And you've just added value to those green beans. You've added value to them. Why? Because they're going to be shelf stable. That's a value that you've added to them. So if you took those green beans back out of the can and put them here, what's this pile of green beans worth? Oh, that's worth, I don't know, 10 cents. But then you put it in this can, you run it through the canner with your know-how and your expertise, and maybe you put some garlic in there or something. What's this can of green beans worth? What is that worth? I'm really not sure what its worth is. It depends how bad somebody needs it. That is how much it's worth. So canning is a method that you can do at your leisure. You're getting a better grade to start with to go in your cans than say Del Monte gets. They're not looking for the best grade of anything because of the way they do things. And I'm not saying that you should turn down Del Monte green beans. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is your ability to can these is an asset. Your ability to buy these is an asset. Your ability to grow is an asset. Your ability to build shelves, to put is an asset. They're all assets. You bring them all together and you've got a chunk, right? And to go to Bryce's house and get a bushel basket full of beans, I don't think Bryce is going to have any prerequisites on it. And if I know him, if I say, hey, Bryce, I don't have any money, can I just have it? He'd say, sure. He probably would, or I could trade him something. We've processed chickens for them before for produce, and it's worked out really good. I don't think we've done it in a couple of years, but so canning allows you the ability to buy in quantity and then create your own shelf stability that you can, put on the shelf stable. Doesn't have to be frozen. Doesn't have to be anything. It probably just needs to be in a closet or something out of direct sunlight, probably. And you need to kind of know what you're doing along the way. And there's plenty of information out there to find it. But generally, it's not applied in everyday people. I mean, you just don't think about canning meat that much. At least I didn't, right? Until I was in Montana. I had a friend that liked to deer hunt a lot. And he liked to eat deer. He took me hunting with him in the river bottoms. And I went over to his house one day. There's just really good smell coming out of his house. I said, what are you doing? And he says, I'm canning a doe. Oh, really? You're canning deer meat? He says, yeah. And I'm thinking a can, like a Del Monte can. Really? My mother used to can, but I don't know. In my mind, it was different because she did tomatoes and pickles and stuff like that. She never canned meat. Never did. I never saw her do it anyway. And so he gave me a can, a ball jar, and it had a clove of garlic in the bottom. And I thought that was really cool. And it looked really nice. And the whole process helped me to simplify what we are doing when we go deer hunting. Because for a long time, I did not really even know what I was doing. I just knew that in all my years of reading Guns and Ammo, I knew that a 30 caliber bullet is the one that you want to kill a deer, but I didn't really know why I wanted to kill a deer. And I had a chance to kill a deer once and I didn't do it because I was kind of like, why am I doing this? But then when I started to understand it better, it became a harvest, right? It was, okay, I'm going to take this shot that's going to provide meat for my family. Okay, I can do that. I never was one that would, I only shoot them when they got a big rack. I was never really into the whole big rack thing. I mean, not that I wouldn't, but I was never like only looking for big racks. I just never, it was never my thing. I didn't shoot my first deer until I was like 34 years old. So not that I didn't want to, I just didn't. And so anyway, we canned a doe, the first doe that I ever shot with an arrow. And I was mimicking what this guy was doing. And then I'd see all these cans on the shelf of this doe meat, deer meat, venison. And it was like, oh, I see why I'm doing this. I get it. I've done this thing. I've killed this animal. I've canned it. It's on the shelf. It's for us to eat, for my children to eat. Aha, I get it. I'm not spending money on meat because we're eating this instead. Aha, deer hunting is a good thing, right? And when I went hunting, it was to provide meat. So, if I could get doe tags, I'd shoot does. I didn't have a problem with that at all. Would I shoot a little one? No, I'd shoot a big one because I want more meat for that tag. The whole tag issue is for another day. I don't understand why we have to pay the DNR to shoot a deer, but they don't belong to DNR. But the DNR, we're giving them money. And what do we get for that money? They're not giving us the deer because they don't own the deer. So what are we actually getting? We're paying for permission. Oh, I know, because if you don't get permission, we'll put you in jail. I get it. So it's sort of like a protection racket, ain't it? Yeah, I get it. Okay, but that's not for this conversation. But my point in talking about deer is, like where I live, I see deer nearly every day. If I look for them, I probably could see a deer every day if I wanted to. I don't pay much attention to them. Occasionally you'll be like, oh yeah, there's a deer. This weekend there was a really big buck running across the property next door, and one of the people that was here saw that and said, ooh, wow, look at that. And I was like, yeah, all the time. But deer hunting, it's the point is about meat and canning is meat. When you think about it, it is readily available. It's everywhere. Every time you turn around, there's meat. Every time you turn around, there's meat. And it may not be, T-bone steaks walking around, but there is meat everywhere. All right. You could go to just about any farm around here and buy a deacon calf for about $10. And it's a pretty good sized animal. I mean, it's only a couple days old, but it's still a lot of meat there for about $10. And if you're willing to butcher it and strip the meat off, it may not be the kind of meat that you want, but it is meat, and you could use that. You could utilize that. You go out in the woods, there's squirrels, there's porcupines, there's cougars, there's, in a life and death situation, people have been known to eat, shark tails and name it. I was stationed in Korea, and you're just not a good GI if you don't eat dog. You got to do it, right? So, of course, you usually have 10 or 12 adult beverages first before you eat the dog, and then you wind up saying, that just tastes like chicken, whatever. I don't even remember eating it, but I ate dog. I ate all kinds of stuff. Philippines, I ate balut. I ate all kinds of stuff, because you can, so you do. And you get over it. It's just food. All right, but if we have this skill under our belt and we have this mindset, we shouldn't be hurting for food. We really shouldn't. I'm not saying that canning is the be-all and the end-all. It is a facet of this process. So let's see what I wrote down here. I had some really good thoughts. Okay, so what we're looking for right now is solutions. Okay, we keep hearing all these stupid problems out there, and it's like kind of an echo that goes through, echoes back and forth. And you know what? That echo stops when you say, well, I got a solution to that. And it ain't Pete Buttigieg that's coming out with the solution. I'm offering the solution for me and my family and my tribe. I'm offering the solution. I got a solution to that. mean, it used to be I had a solution for me, and then it was me and Jill, and then it was me and Jill and 8 kids, and now we have a tribe. And so I don't want you guys to be worried about all this shenanigans that's coming out of this mainstream media. And even the secondary media is picking it up and saying, well, yeah, maybe so. I don't know. But do something about it. This is a solution. Sir, what's the solution to this problem? Here it is. I'm giving you the solution. Is canning the be all and the end all? No, it's a fact of the entire operation. All right. Somebody's canning your food right now. Somebody else. Del Monte is. But you need to be able to do that. Just like somebody's butchering your beef right now. But you need to be able to do that. Because they might not. Or they might say, you will butcher your beef, but we need you to do this first. Right? So they're putting themselves in a position where they can negotiate with you. And you should not be negotiating with anybody about anything if you can help it. That's what this is about. Taking their negotiation abilities away. Well, you can come in our store, but you got to have this little piece of, well, you can come in our store, but you have to have this. Well, you can fly on our airplanes, but you got to have this. No, there's nothing I can do about the jetliner thing, and I don't care to get into jetliners. I don't want to have my own. I'm just not going to travel on them. I don't need to. I just really don't. I mean, the thought that I need to go someplace on an airplane, I don't. I almost did this summer. Almost went someplace. Almost went out to Oregon, and I'm really glad that I didn't. I'm really glad I didn't go. And it would have to be something huge for me to do that. I'm not interested at all. Okay, so these are solutions, methods of meat preservation. I've got freezing. I've got curing, right? So at our house, we have learned a lot about this process right here. This is charcuterie. This is a back leg off of a Mangalitsa pig. It would work for a lot of different pigs, but it works really good on the Mangalitsa because they are what's known as a heritage breed. It's more like the pig that would have been on Noah's Ark. And that type of pig has not been hybridized to the point where the pink pigs are, that will not eat things that have tannic acid in them, right? The pink pigs, they want corn and soy. They want hog chow. And if you don't feed them that, they'll just squeal at you. They just scream at you. They just want that. So our discipline with these pigs is that we get them going on forages that we grow. And there's a lot of tannic acid in that, or tannins be in that. And those tannins are the same thing that you would use to tan a buckskin, right? Now, where would you get that? You would get that from, oak chips. If you have an oak stump, you can make a bowl in there and then you can put water in it and it will leach the tannins out of that oak. They're really heavy. Anytime you eat an acorn, that bitterness, those are the tannins. If you break acorns and you soak them in water and then you taste the water, ooh, bitter. But you keep doing that and you pour the water off and those meats in there will get actually sweet. And the nutrient value in those is really high. Makes corn look like a joke, right? But we've been kind of shooed away from that. That's foraging. That's for like the homeless people or the Indians maybe. We've been shooed away from that. You don't want to eat that. If you want to eat corn chips, right? That's real food. This stuff dropping out of trees, you don't want to eat that. That's no good. So the tannic acids is what's going to preserve the meat. It'll actually cure the meat, which kind of leads me to the couple of questions. Okay, so we're butchering pigs in the fall. Isn't that the same time when acorns fall out of the trees? Yeah. Gee, I wonder if this is by design. Couldn't be. It's the Big Bang Theory. Don't you remember? It's the Big Bang Theory. That's what happened. So our curing room here, and many of you have not seen this because it was new this year. It's a room that we try to keep it close to 60 degrees and about 60% humidity, plus or minus. So it's on the north side of a building, and it stays right in there. We will run a fan in there at the most. In the wintertime, it'll get a little bit cooler, and we may have to increase the curing process. We may run a fan in there, a little bit. I mean, a heater, just to keep the curing process going. Because you actually, if it's too cold, the curing process won't happen. Okay, but that's a method of preserving meat, is curing. But the one we're going to talk about this weekend is canning. And some of the pros of canning is it tenderizes the meat. So you really don't have to do very much. You can be stripping meat off of the bone and putting it directly in cans, in ball jars. And those can be just sealed up, and then you drop them right in the canner. It's pretty quick, and it's really efficient. And then while the canner's running, you just set your watch, and then you leave, and then you come back, take those ones out, put another load in, go do something. And each load takes a certain amount of time. I'm going to go to the class this weekend. If some of you guys haven't signed up and want to go, I am taking the class because I've helped with canning, but I don't know any of the particulars. I don't know the temperatures. I really don't know how the canner works that well. And so I'm actually going to sit in on Rachel's class because I want to know these things. And, I'll bring a little bit different perspective to it too. Like today, butchering chickens, our chickens just had really nice feet on them. And I thought, I could see these in a ball jar canned. I could see it. And I said, Jill, we need to do this weekend. We need to can some of these. Let's save some of these feet for the class. And she said, yeah, let's do that. And then, she said to me, what for, though? I said, well, then you don't have to freeze them. And when you want to make soup, you can just pull these out and boom, right in the... And I'm sure that they would be quite tender, and the collagen that's in them would be more readily available, I would think. But we won't know unless we try it. So let's try it. So anyway, we're going to do that. And we're going to be canning beef, and I think they're going to can some pork too. But along with canning meat, we're going to be canning vegetables and probably some broth, and who knows what these guys will do. But along with the canning class comes a lot of other things too. We'll be able to look around the farm and see what's happening here. So I tell you what, I couldn't be happier with the direction that things are going. We did a good job of filling up the pastured grazing class. Our pastured poultry class, we had 24 people in that class. Last year, the charcuterie class we filled, actually 2 of them on the farm, and we did 2 Homestead hog harvests on the farm that we filled. So I could not be happier with the results of this outreach. If there wasn't a need for it, then we would be throwing seed to the wind. But there is a need for it, and so people are, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that. So I'm pretty happy that it's going that way, and I briefed you all that Baker's Green Acres can do only so many of these. So some of the rest of you are going to need to start stepping up to the plate as you feel called to do so. You may not be comfortable with it. I don't think that. I'm not saying once you feel comfortable with it. I got to show you something that I got from Sean Kelly. He sent me this. So you can see it's a set of plans. And he says, final design has arrived. Farm school construction begins next month. So we said, you need to step up and start doing this. And he says, okay, I'll do it. You know, I don't know. Maybe he was going to do it anyway, but I'm glad to see this is happening. You know, Texas is a state with a lot of people that are leaning forward, and they do lead the nation in many things. And so I'm glad to see that they're getting self-sufficient, and the Kellys are special people, and what they're doing is pretty good. It's pretty good. So, yeah, I appreciate that. And I'm glad to share that with you guys. We've got some Texas people in the tribe, but we need more. So that's, let's see. What else do I have? I have some more stuff in here. Preservation of meat is a process that begins with sourcing the meat. All right. So one of the problems that we are facing right now that needs to be overcome is processing. It's still a problem, even after all this time. Where we're running a butchering operation, people come in here and we get to talking, and oh yeah, they won't even take this butcher shop that's close by here. They are full up to the first of the year, right? And so this kid is like, okay, well, I want to get my beef in the 2nd of January. And they're saying, we're not taking anything at this time. We're not taking anything at this time. You can't even get on their schedule. I used to use these guys all the time, but I couldn't even get on their schedule right now. So let's say I've got a bunch of beef and I can't get on the schedule for like February. Are you kidding me? Why is that? Why would you do that? Unless you don't care at all about your customer base. I don't get it. I don't understand what's going on, actually, when it comes to businesses. And I've seen this a couple, 3 times, all right? My vet that I've used forever, and we've been friends since I moved here, 18 years, Marine, I'm an airman, so we have common things. We've been friends forever. I called there to get something, and the machine said, we're no longer taking any new customers. What? So you just moved to this community and you can't get your dog vaccinated there? You got to go to someplace. Are you kidding me? I was dumbstruck when I heard that. Like, I couldn't believe that. But I guess that's the case. I haven't seen Dallas. I want to ask him about that. I want to say, you've got that much business that you won't take any new, and doesn't that mean that when some of your customers attrit out, that people are the word's gonna get around, oh, you can't even go there. Well, maybe they're getting ready to, I don't know, maybe they're getting ready to do something else. I don't know. But I had another thing that happened too that was really disturbing, and I've called twice to get it straightened out. And it will be straightened out one way or another. I don't exactly know what will happen, but we had a guy that had fixed our appliances here for about 5 years. And I called them May 21st this year. And I said, hey, our washing machine's on the fritz, our dishwasher. And I had paid him $200 like 6 months prior to put a new pump in it, right? And they took the order and they said, okay, well, 3 weeks go by, and I called and I'm like, hey, did you guys like forget about me or something? Oh no, it's just that we're kind of busy. Said, well, I kind of need to know if you're coming. If not, then I'll have to do something else. Yeah, no problem. He can be there next Thursday. And this is like on a Monday, the following Thursday. And I'm like, okay, because these guys, we've been customers of theirs for a long time and they've done good work. He shows up like absolutely no regard for us, just walks in the house. I kind of found that a little strange, right? And when I go in, he's got the flashlight going and then says, well, it looks like this control board is not going to work, but let me check on something. I have things to do. I can't watch somebody fix a stupid washing machine. And then he just splits, never says nothing to me. And 2 more weeks go by, and I said, oh, the hell with this. And I called another outfit, and they said, yeah, we can come, but we can't come till the 26th of July. So I got no choice. I wait, and the kid comes out. Now, I know these people because they used to be the ones that we used before we used this other outfit. Now the adult son comes, flashlight, looks around for a little while. I said, all right, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you guys are back in town. Say hi to your dad for me, da-da-da-da. I got things to do. Just fix it. Just fix the damn thing. It's a freaking washing machine. Dinner comes around, and I said, hey, they fixed that washing machine? Jill said, no, he couldn't. I said, what do you mean he couldn't? He says, oh, you have to be a certified Bosch service center to fix it because he would have to program it. I said, you're kidding me. And she says, no. And he billed us $42. So the kid comes out with a flashlight, looks at it, says, I can't fix it. $42. See ya. And Jill's pretty nice, so she paid him. But like, what's going on in our country? I just don't know what's going on. So I called there almost immediately. I called today to talk to the dad and say, you don't do business like this. There's no way I would refer you to someone else after something like that. Are you sure you want to do that? Is that $42 that important? I mean, it doesn't mean that much to me, but I paid a guy $42 to do nothing, just basically shine a flashlight at it and say, yep, nope. Just sad. So anyway, I don't know what's going on in this world right now, but I do know that we are the ones that have to step up and make things right. We cannot wait for anybody else to do it. Oh, awesome. Love Chat. Best adult dating site. Right on, man. I've been looking for one. I think that's somebody just bombed us. Whoa, look at that. All right. Hey, there's some good. Boil your bones, excellent broth. Yeah, we do that for sure. Pickled pig's feet. Yeah, pickling meat. I haven't done that. Oh, I could eat pickled pig's feet. Yeah. Fermenting. Could process meat through a 3D printer. I don't think so. Love Chat. Adult dating at its best. I'm sure the tribe needs that. All right, you guys, that's going to be it for me tonight. I've got it just about wired. This week, Thursday, we got the Resistance Chicks coming back. So, I think that you all are going to want to tune in for that and hear what they have to say. I'm going to say to them, okay, so what's new? And let them roll, because they're moving and shaking out there in the Patriot community, and they are finding stuff. And so it'd be really interesting to see what they have to say. There is a backup plan. I think they were supposed to be on last week and something wrong, so they had to cancel. as I'm told. But the backup plan will probably be just as good. Wednesday night will be our Q&A. That's a Zoom. If you want to get in on that, you have to be a Plus member. Anyone can farm Plus, Tribe Plus. Anyone can farm Tribe Plus member. That's a membership deal. If you need to find out about that, it's on the Anyone Can Farm Tribe website. Okay, to find out more about that. If you can't find what you need on there, let us know and we will direct you where you're supposed to go. Okay, but I really do need y'all to sign up to that because we got to keep this machine running. We got to keep this machine running. All right, so I'm going to get rolling. I'll see some of yous tomorrow night, and I'll see majority of yous on Thursday night with the chicks. Sayonara.